Xiaomi is in trouble. Oh, you don't need to take my word for it. I mean, if Lei Jun says that Xiaomi is in trouble and he has acknowledged it, then they're definitely in trouble. They're definitely in some kind of trouble. Now, I'm not saying that Xiaomi is going to go bust. No. But they have been losing their market share. This is a company that once upon a time, not too long ago in 2021, they were the second best company in the world, smartphone company, after Samsung on the basis of smartphones shipped. Follow, like on the basis of smartphones shipped, they were second place in the world. These guys were on a roll, especially with the Redmi Note 7. I think the Redmi Note 7 was when Xiaomi truly came into global prominence, right? And it's been like, since 2021, it's like, the slide, Xiaomi has been on the slide. Now, it hasn't really been apparent because they're still shooting out phones, and I'm going to talk about that very soon. They're still pumping out phones into the market, and so it seems as if everything is okay, but below the surface, everything is not. And that's what I want to discuss. Now, before I get started, I know that Xiaomi's, what's the word to use now? Their priorities have become different. They're focusing on the high end even more, the flagship segment. Once upon a time, their best phones used to be flagship killers. The days of the Mi8s and the Mi9s, and probably even the Mi10, but not anymore. Xiaomi's phones are their high-end phones are super flagships. They're butt heads with the Samsungs and the iPhones of this world. They've said it already that they want to be the iPhone of the Apple of Asia. That they've made no bones about that part. And also, like beyond the smartphone business, they have like other stuff that they're pursuing. They have the electronics market, the media side of things, the Xiaomi Home, with all the lots of stuff. I mean, I am the quintessential Xiaomi fan. I mean, I've got the band. It's right here. Yeah, I've got the band. I've got this as well, if you can see this. Yeah, so I'm busy. Like, they have like all these accessories that they do, that they also have to focus on, their air fryers, their scooters. I haven't heard the rumors that they're probably going to be doing an electric vehicle, EVs, very soon, and that's all well and good. But there is one thing that everybody seems to be forgetting, and it's that Xiaomi grew on the back of the mid-range market. Now, there are some people who are going to knock me for this video entirely, because for some people, once they like a brand, the brand is above reproach. Don't you dare reproach their brand. And it's not a very good position to hold, if you ask me. I'm just sitting down here. It's the middle of the night. It's 4 a.m. and I'm making this one, right? So let me get quickly into it. Xiaomi grew on the back of the mid-range market. And it wasn't even the flagships that brought them to prominence. It was a certain Redmi Note 7, a humble lower mid-range device that blew up. And then the Redmi Note 8 followed up, the Redmi Note 8, and then into the Pros. And then everybody sat up and were like, Xiaomi is a major player, but everybody mostly saw them as a mid-range kind of guy. And then in 2020, 2021, boom. Especially 2020, I think with the Redmi Note 10 series and with the Mi11 Ultra, like, whoa. Everybody was like, damn, I think that was probably peak Xiaomi. Like they were delivering. But then issues started popping up. Now, the first issue is that they have too many phones. Too many. I mean, in the days of the Redmi Note 7 and the Redmi Note 8, you know that Xiaomi, when they did their yearly releases, which was usually twice, they only had one flagship for here, and then the mid-range releases were usually twice. Like for 2019, I could clearly remember there was Redmi Note 8 and the Redmi Note 9. Redmi Note 7 and Redmi Note 8 series, and then in 2020 there was a Redmi Note 9 series, and then in 2021 I had the Redmi Note 10 series, and 2022 I had the Redmi Note 11 series, and so on and so forth. But you had one lower mid-range, one upper mid-ranger, and then one budget device, and then one entry-level device. It was easy, it was straightforward to understand. Now with all of the Pro plus 5G, 4G, 5G variants, I'm quoting what somebody said on the Xiaomi forum, and they said one would need to have a computer science degree to understand or to know how many phones that Xiaomi are spitting out, because at this point it's now comical. At this point, like, there are so many, and it's not even the fact that there are so many phones, it's about the support, right? Because Xiaomi made its name. One of the reasons why many people, especially in my country, ported over to Xiaomi was because they had very good software support. Their software support it's not always at the level of maybe the Samsungs of this world, but they tried and they did very well with software support. Now with so many phones are left uncatered to, some are just flat out left in the cold. And with their software development team not as big as the ones of other companies, they're probably overworking their staff because there are so many phones, and they have to push back updates, and they keep pushing it back. I mean, what now? Android 14 will probably come out in if it's not, I mean, Android 14 will soon be the staple of the industry. And there are many Xiaomi phones that are still in Android 12. Some of the new phones that are coming out with Android 12 instead of Android 13. And the ones who come out with Android 13 do not even have material UI. That's one. Two, lip service is being paid to the mid-range. I mean, we could argue right now that global chip shortage, SoC people not making enough proper mid-range SoCs for smartphone makers to use, etc., etc. But we could counter that argument by saying that when Xiaomi needed a Snapdragon 685 from Qualcomm delivered at very short notice. So it's not really about the lack of chips and stuff. It's just that maybe we've hit like peak smartphones, and then there's really people have run out of ideas on what to do. But that's also another weak argument to use. But what's on ground now is that Xiaomi are paying lip service. I mean, if you look at the Redmi Note 12 series, for example, people who haven't used Xiaomi before and are coming up from lower, like the entry level, the budget segment, will probably jump at those and say, yeah, these are very good phones. But if you have been using a Xiaomi phone since 2017, 2018, 2019, like myself, the Redmi Note series stopped with the Redmi Note 10 with the Snapdragon, the one that had the Snapdragon 6, 7, 8, and 33 watts fast charge and 50 MP Samsung Gen 1 and all that. That's where it ended. Because every other Redmi Note phone, the Redmi Note 11, the Redmi Note 12, haven't beat that standard. If you look at the notes as well, since the Redmi Note, I could argue Redmi Note 9 Pro, but no, it's definitely the Redmi Note 10 because it has the AMOLED display with the 120 Hz and the fast charge and the 108 megapixel camera. Like, that was crazy. That phone was crazy, right? For a mid-ranger. And people using Redmi Note 10 have not seen any reason to upgrade to either the Redmi Note 11 or the Redmi Note 12 Pro series. Not even the Pro 5G. The Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G could convince them. Maybe the only phone worth looking at right now is maybe the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G Plus. Yeah, the Pro Plus 5G. The names are getting stuck in my head because the names are borderline ridiculous at this point. Pro Plus 5G. It's all out of. It's all. I really can't explain it really. And it's just like like peak Xiaomi has been passed, and the one that's even worth switching over to, the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G, is priced beyond the reach of what one would consider normal mid-range prices. So like, why would you offer that phone in a mid-range market and then price it at flagship killer standards? Perhaps because the phone is like, I mean, most people who like understand the way smartphones work will know that it's much better that you'd go and buy a flagship killer than buy that one. I'm just saying, really. And then that would then take us like to the next area that I really want to talk about, that Xiaomi have been failing in. When we talk about like the SoC stuff, is the repetition of phones and the repetition of specs. And it started with the Redmi 10 2022. Damn same thing. All of the Redmi Notes since the Redmi Note 11, the vanilla Redmi Notes, basically the same phone. You see the Redmi Note 12S is basically the Redmi Note 11S. The Redmi Note 12 Pro is basically the Redmi Note 10 Pro with faster charging. Repetition. And you're like, hey, I've used this phone before. Like, somebody was busy lamenting on Facebook. He traded his Redmi Note 10 Pro and then got the Redmi Note 12 Pro, and then only to find out it was the same thing with faster charging. And the prices, I mean, I understand that Xiaomi have a business to run, and they were very wonderful with their pricing once upon a time, and maybe inflation is happening and stuff. But I mean, between 2019 and now, there are some smartphone tech that have gotten cheaper because Chinese and Korean manufacturers have learned to mass produce them, but the prices keep going up. And I think one thing that Xiaomi understands this fact too, is why they're bringing more high-end specs down so that they can increase pricing. Because maybe they've probably invested like into all of these like high-end tech stuff, research and stuff, and so maybe they need to spread the cost around. Probably that's why. But I really don't know why they're repeating phones. It's one thing we used to bash a certain popular company in Nigeria for, and now Xiaomi are doing it, and I can't. If I keep quiet about this, then I'll definitely be a hypocrite. I am not a hypocrite. Xiaomi are repeating phones. In fact, I could even title this video "The Problem with Xiaomi" too, because it's actually correct. And with all of these things happening, there are probably more, but I'm running out of time. There's probably more, right? There's probably more, but I really don't want to go into all that. Most users are starting to vote with their credit cards, their debit cards, and their wallets. And the price, the market share of Xiaomi is dropping down. They are losing market shares in Asia. They're losing market shares in India. They're losing market shares all over the world, Europe too. And before the CEO would come out and say, yeah, we have a real problem, you know that this is a real issue for them. And I hope they do something about it. If maybe by any chance any of them from anywhere, any Xiaomi rep, CEO, executive, I know the chances are like next to none, but I'm just saying it. They probably should go back to basics. What made them great? And you know, if I mean, you don't, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But they've tried to fix a system that is not broken, especially for their smartphone range. And you know, I don't know whether they think by pumping, you know, a shit ton of phones into the market, or by raising prices, or by paying lip service to the mid-range and focusing alone on the high end. I mean, seriously, if the high end was that great, then the mid-range wouldn't have prepared Xiaomi all the way up to where it is. They should go back to their roots. They should do the simple things, because they did the very simple things and they did it very well, and that's what got them to where they are. Otherwise, they're going to be landlocked in the same what's the word to use now, in the same mire that other big companies find themselves locked in, you know, because they're stuck. They've reached peak and then they've stuck. I don't know, this video may come out as completely misguided, by the way. I don't know, I want to hear opinions about it. Let me see how that goes. As usual, my name is Jeffrey. Please, thank you for coming and watching me talk about like Xiaomi and other tech stuff. If you want to hear more, there's a shit ton of videos on the channel. I think I have well over 100. I've been operating this channel for close to 2 years now, so there's a lot of stuff in there that would probably tickle your fancy. Please make sure to like, subscribe and share. Thank you very much. My name is Jeff, and I will see you in the next video and in the comment section as well. Bye bye, guys.